Hello everybody, AJ Ryzik here, and for today's Linux tutorial I'm going to show you how to install kernel 4.6 into Ubuntu and Ubuntu based distributions. Now I'm running Ubuntu Gnome 16.04 here, but I already tried this on Xubuntu 16.04, so I know it works there. I tried it on regular Ubuntu 14.04, it works fine there. Obviously I haven't tried every Ubuntu based distribution, but at least in theory, this should work on every Ubuntu based distro. I'm go to my notes right here, and some of the features in kernel 4.6. Initial open source support for GTX 900 series cards. We've got runtime HCI power management support for greater power savings. That's probably going to be a big deal to a lot of laptop users. Uh, Dell laptop support improvements, and I'll talk a bit about that one in just a bit. Better security for 32-bit Linux programs, various open source AMD graphic driver improvements, and a number of new ARM hardware support. Now, why would you want to go and upgrade your kernel? And it kind of comes down to, well, it depends. A lot of it's going to depend on your hardware. If you've got an older laptop, say more than a couple years old, most of this stuff is not, at least probably, is not going to make any bit of difference to you. The Dell laptop support improvements, it's for newer Dell laptops. The support for the GTX 900, if you're not running one of those, no big deal. Probably for most people, kernel 4.6 is not going to be a big deal. In my case, for those of you that follow me on Google Plus, I posted about this a week or so ago. I just got a new Dell laptop, which I've got right here, and was initially having some trouble with the battery indicator. It was like it would not detect the battery, and I tried Ubuntu distributions. I tried Arch, OpenSUSE, a whole bunch of distros, and so I got searching online, and a lot of people had upgraded to kernel 4.5, and that had helped out. Kernel 4.6 just came out, and so I was like, well, I might as well go ahead and go to 4.6, especially after I saw the more Dell laptop, support improvements kind of stuff. Unfortunately, that didn't completely fix my problem. It still would not detect the battery. Now, if you plugged in the laptop to the charger, it would detect the battery at that point, and you could go and unplug it, and the battery would still be unplugged. Ended up there was a line that I had to add to the grub config file. Once I added that, boom, everything was perfect. And and as they say, that's all she wrote. I'll actually on the laptop, I'm going to have a video probably a little later this week on how I've set it up and features of that particular laptop and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that was my original reason for upgrading to kernel 4.6. Now, of course, right now I am on my desktop, and most of the features that they're listing here, no big deal for for the way my system is set up and that, and my hardware and all that. But I figure, why not? Let's go ahead and upgrade. So I'm just going to copy and paste from my notes here, and I am going to do a full write-up of how to make these how to do this kernel upgrade. I will do a full write-up on my blog at ajryzik.com. I'll leave a link down below so you can go to the site, see all this, and if you want, you can just copy and paste then. So anyway, let's we'll just do a little copy and paste. So we'll open up our temp folder, and first we're going to wget this. next one. And the next one. By the way, I am running 64-bit system. I will also have, you can see right here, I've got my notes for doing the 32-bit system. So I will have both 64 and 32-bit instructions up on the blog post. Okay, all that's downloaded. So now we do sudo dpackage -i and the Debian files, and boom, it's going to ask for my password. And boom, there she goes. And at this point, it's just a matter of waiting for everything to install. Once it is installed, you're going to want to reboot your system so that all the changes can take effect. And that's essentially it. Now, if you have trouble, for some reason, after this installs, you try to boot, and for whatever reason you can't get past the grub menu, it crashes or whatever, you can always go and at the grub menu, go to, you'll have an option that says something like advanced options for, whatever your distro is. Go into that and it'll let you go and boot using one of the older kernels that are still installed. But like I said, that's essentially it. You can see that everything is installed. It generated a new grub file, and so we're ready to go. All I'll need to do is reboot, and we're ready to go. So as they say, that is it. Hopefully this little tutorial helped you out. As always, leave comments, questions, all that kind of stuff down below. I will try to get to them as soon as possible. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and I hope to see you all on the next video. Thanks a lot.